Why? Bonge bafakile only right. Kuke silokhu sa-first semester. Ayikho into enjengale. Ayikho. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, play that movie, yeah? Hello, so whoever's going to talk will use this. We're gonna give them a
It was actually because the two left.
I can't use my team's app because it's through Canva.
ready? Except for Given walking over there. Okay, so welcome everybody.
One, two.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's session. We have a few house rules we want to clarify to everybody. We're going to mute the cameras to keep the audio and the video more perfect, and also to keep the bandwidth a little bit better for us, to keep everything correct. And also, we want to ask you, if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand or use the chat area at any point in time, and we will get to all the questions as we go on.
Correct.
And then any questions that you have, we will get to them as soon as possible.
And there'll be a whole team on the chat monitoring the questions.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Do we just want the sound off on that side, please?
This is a major team effort here.
I'll go that side quickly.
There are folks that are quite cheesy. Speakers on.
Alright. Just sorting out the logistics here.
Are we ready?
I think we are.
Okay.
Folks, we'll go over this in close because we have to start.
The microphone is here. Is that okay? Somebody else is not muted. Technical team, can we carry on? Must we use this microphone or must I unmute my laptop? Can I mute my laptop? Okay. All right. Deal. Except for Given walking over there. Okay, so welcome everybody to the Unisa Science Engagement Centre. We have an open day today. We're very excited to invite you here into our centre. We have a webinar starting shortly, so whilst we are preparing for the webinar, we would like to take you on a little tour of our Science Engagement Centre. And so with me is Ansani. She is the USEC Communications Manager, and we've got a whole team here who are really keen and eager to show you the things that we do here in the Science Centre. So by way of introduction, I am Dr. Patricia Goos, and I'm the Director of the Unisa Science Engagement Centre. I'm going to hand over now to Tumelo, and his focus is robotics and environmental sciences. Tumelo, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Goos. Welcome, everyone. I'm Tumelo Nhlapo. I'm the science facilitator here at Unisa Science Engagement Centre. So what you're seeing here on the robotics table, it's all about robotics and environmental sciences. The aim here is to reach to learners and educate them about the importance of the environmental issues that we're experiencing in a fun way. So you can see that we've got bottle lids here, we did lots of recycling, and also we have empty bottles as well, just to make it colorful. So what we normally first do is to educate the learners to build a robot. After building the robot, it's a matter of programming it. After programming the robot, this is now when we have interactive challenges and conversations such as what is climate change, what is pollution, what causes pollution, what causes climate change, what can we do, where can we start. Speaking of where can we start, I'll just demonstrate one or two things here. So normally we have programmed our robot, and programming the robot is not complicated. We simply use a software called EV3 Classroom. This is a simple and easy programming style. Any person can use it. It's wet block, it's Scratch, so this is user friendly. So what happened is I've programmed my robot here and it's connected to the Bluetooth. So now I'm going to try out and perhaps take the echo brick. So an echo brick consists of dirty material. Let me just quickly try to take this. So this is, you can see here, this is trash. You can see your masks, you can see your chippies, your snacks, like a lot of trash inside here. So we encourage learners to participate in such into contributing to the environment while using technology. So I'll simply start. There we go. All right. So let's see what I've programmed will work, because I've instructed it to move forward. After moving forward, it needs to grab. It didn't. Then it has to come back. So you can also see that this is an ocean mat. And this ocean mat here, it's another theme that we use to educate the learners about the importance of what's happening within the ocean. So you can see now it managed to grab the echo brick. So by us educating learners to do all of this, this is now engaging in different types of aspects, particularly environmental sciences, looking at climate change, pollution, and recycling. So without wasting time, I'm going to move over to Dr. Hoos so that she can explain more about different types of robots, as well as some of the themes that we have as well.
Awesome. Thank you to Tumelo. All right. So you saw Tumelo's robot. It had grippers in front, so we call that a powered attachment. But there's always the difficulty of where to start with learners. And so what we have here is just a baby EV3. We call it a baby EV3, and there's the camera. So it's got a straightforward, there's no sensors attached, and it's straightforward navigation. You've got 2 motors for navigation. They're attached to output ports over there, and the robot just goes forwards and backwards. So once we've got kind of the navigation sorted out with the learners, then we kind of move it up a level. And so many years ago, there was a thing called the winning design, and you can see it has a frame around it, and this is much better for the weight of the robot so the wheels don't buckle. And so you can modify the winning design then from a Riley rover to a frame like this, which is an EV3 with a Riley rover and a frame around it. But as you can see, we keep pushing learners to get out of their comfort zone to design their own robots. And so this was a robot that was winning in 2013 already, and this is Angel. She represented South Africa in Spain. It's 10 years ago. She's still a good design, but her model or her mass emissions had to be flat, so you can see that her motors are next to her brain, unlike this one where the motors are underneath the brain. All right, so with all learning and designing, we always seek for a more efficient structure. We add sensors. This is Mario. Mario is the robot that never went to World Festival because of COVID, but a great design nonetheless. All right, so if you look underneath, Mario has got color sensors for line follows. It's got embedded motors inside which are attached with dog gears. So there's a progression, and hopefully this afternoon when we explain it, it's really about basic building and then basic programming, and then we include the sensors, and then we include the powered attachments. So there's always a level of pushing the learners in their learning journey. And why do we do it? Well, we have, instead of writing boring exams, we participate in competitions. And so we want teams to score maximum points. This board is our super-powered board, which was last year's theme. But every year we've got a new theme. And so my team here next door to me, Marina, Polani, and Casper, are going to explain this year's challenge. And Tumelo's going to take the microphone, thank you very much, and explain the missions. Thank you very much. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for showing up for this event this afternoon. Okay, what you just saw for everybody online, those of you who are online, what you just saw now was the earlier version of our event today, because we had demonstrations for everybody. Now, we are starting with the formal program of the afternoon, and apologies for having started just a little bit late, but then we are on the road and rocking and rolling. Welcome everybody to this event hosted by the Unisa Science Engagement Centre together with the Unisa Centre for Lifelong Learning, everybody. Just a quick one, my name is Mafeno Pora and I'm on the marketing side of the Centre for Lifelong Learning, wherein we offer short learning programs, and you will get to know a little bit more about that as we go through the program. I'm actually very elated and excited this afternoon to be here because there's so much that I saw that I did not even know about, robotics and what have you, because I was part of the event earlier on when they were doing demonstrations. And I can tell you now that you guys are going to benefit a lot, not only yourselves, but also your communities. I've already, I must say, put my name down, or rather the name of my community down to say that I want this team, Dr. Hose and her team, to come over to my little village out in Denelton to visit us over there. So yeah, there's going to be a lot, colleagues, that you are going to be benefiting from this afternoon. And we hope that every one of you takes away something really. Without any waste of time, I'm going to call on our first speaker, which is Mr. our head, our director at the Center for Lifelong Learning, to just welcome a little bit more about what the center is about. And from there, we're going to be delving right into issues. So I beg you, please stay put where you are online and call your other friends everywhere and say, by the way, that webinar has started, and send them the link quickly enough, okay? Please do that. And Mr. Kekana, over to you, sir. Come over.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Good afternoon. Let me start by greeting the college management, the Executive Dean of the College of Science, Engineering and Technology, the Deputy Executive Dean, the Director of the School of Computing, the COT Department of Information Systems, Dr. Hose, and colleagues in the Department of Information Systems, colleagues from UCL, teachers, learners, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and warm greetings. I trust you are well. The Unisa Science Engagement Centre under the College of Science, Engineering and Technology, in collaboration with Unisa Centre for Lifelong Learning, would like to welcome you to the Robotics and Coding Education webinar. And who are we in the context of the university? The Unisa Science Engagement Centre is a strategic project under the College of Science, Engineering and Technology, which is located in the School of Computing in the Department of Information Systems. On the other side, Unisa Centre for Lifelong Learning is a centralized administrative hub responsible for the administration of short learning programs under the Academic Planning Department in the VP Teaching, Learning, Community Engagement, and Student Support. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, we administer student work activities, that is from registrations, applications, up to certification. That is how we support the academics in the offerings of these short learning programs in the university. We support colleges through administrative functions while academics provide teaching and learning to our students. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here under the theme, Robotics, Where to Start, the opportunities for educators and learners. We need to admit that popular interest in robotics has increased amazingly in the last few years. Robotics is seen by many as offering a major benefits in education at all levels, that is from basic to tertiary education. The market growth for personal robotics, like those used in restaurants, including those used in entertainment and education and for educational purposes, has been tremendous, and this trend may continue over the years to come. Educators have started to generate ideas and develop activities to incorporate robotics in the teaching of various subjects, including mathematics, science, and engineering. By exploring a wider range of possible applications, educators in basic education has the potential to engage young people with a wider range of interest. Young people who are not interested in traditional approaches to robotics become motivated when robotics activities are introduced as a way to tell a story. For example, ladies and gentlemen, creating a mechanical puppet show, or in connection with other disciplines and interest areas such as music and art. Different students are attracted to different types of robotic activities. For example, students interested in cars are likely to be motivated to create motorized vehicles, while students with interest in art or music are likely to be more motivated to create interactive sculptures. Ladies and gentlemen, we trust that this webinar will provide an opportunity to share our experiences and expertise in this field. In order to set a stage and establish a pipeline for a truly technologically savvy future for this country, our kids, undergraduates, and postgraduate students, we really need to change how we do things. And robotics provides that opportunity. I therefore urge all participants who have joined us online and in person this afternoon to consider robotics education as a broader goal, not just limited to the university level. Ladies and gentlemen, with these few words, I'd like to officially welcome you to this webinar and to really enjoy yourself as we interact in this webinar. On those few words, thank you very much, Program Director. I really appreciate, and officially, this webinar is opened. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kekana, for those words. That's wonderful. And indeed, the world in which we live today, the future is no longer tomorrow, but the future is here, and thanks to technology. Now, colleagues, please feel free to interact with us online. Send in those questions that you might be having, because a little later we are going to be having a question and answer session in which a few of these concepts will actually be explained in a bit more detail based on the questions that you would be asking. All right, so stay with us for the next hour or so. Without any waste of time, I'm going to call on Dr. Hoos. And I must apologize, ma'am, that I did not have your CV, but all I know is that you are a guru in this area, and you are an academic of note. So she's going to be talking about robotics and coaching, opportunities for engagement for robotics coaches and teams of learners. Dr. Hoos, over to you, ma'am. Lovely. All the best.
I need a microphone. All right. I'm just making sure that the team has my screen that I'm sharing. No? Yes? There. Okay, all right, excellent. So the timing is a bit out, but nonetheless, welcome to the first session. We've got three focus parts, and so I really want to start by explaining the landscape of robotics and coding in South Africa. All right, here we go. And now I need to, there we go. All right, so as explained by Mr. Kekana, we are the Unisa Science Engagement Centre. Within this engagement centre, we've got the I-SET project, which has been going since 2009, and we are now in collaboration with the Unisa Centre for Lifelong Learning, and so we've presented this, the first of many, hopefully, webinars for our future. All right. So our agenda is quite straightforward. First of all, explaining where we are from the Unisa Science Engagement Centre. I don't know where there's a camera, but I'd like to introduce the team. Or should we do that later? Is there a camera here? So here next to me is Tumelo. Can you see him? No. Where's the camera? Oh my word, there we go. No, okay, continue. Okay, they'll capture. So I've got Tamela with me, and then I've got Cabello, and I've got Anzani, and then we've just got 2 new interns, although they're here the 2nd month already, so it's not new anymore, and that's Marina and Polani. So, and then Sinclair is missing today, but she will join us soon. So that's the team in the Unisa Science Engagement Centre that travels South Africa for the greater good of science engagement through robotics activities. So I'm going to explain quickly what is robotics, seeing that it's a buzzword that everybody's talking about, and then very clearly we need to understand who are the stakeholders in this robotics and coding agenda that we have. And then we're going to draw a picture of our landscape, and to quote a quote from something happening in our midst is the stronger together. And whilst I'm talking about this, I want you to consider 3 things. Where are our school robotics teams? If a team has a soccer team and a rugby team and a chess team, why do we not have a robotics team? Ideally, we should have an under 15 robotics team and an under 16 robotics team, but the question is there. And then, who is so serious about preparing our learners? Most of us are going to leave soon. We need to prepare our learners for a future where they can thrive. Survival is not okay anymore. And question number 3 is why we bother. And so we're going to put that question to you so that you can ponder it as we go through the presentation. And my team and I will tell you why we bother. So for those of you who missed us, this is our science center in the foyer of the Pachana building. It's usually a hive of activity. And that picture up on the screen is actually the week before we had total lockdown back in 2020. How very strange that we actually greeted each other with a hug and said, well, see you soon. And little did we know, no masks at that time. All right, so where is the robotics? The robotics is a domain of knowledge, all right? And you have to include at all times, and if I didn't have to hold my microphone up here, it's kind of an x-axis. Thank you, Tamela. So you've got an x-axis of engineering fundamentals. You've got a y-axis of the principles of programming. And in between, what happens is that you develop your 21st century skills. So what we are creating are opportunities where these 21st century skills can be developed. And that takes time and effort. And so if you're on this journey with us, you'll need to understand that there's time and effort involved. So the 21st century skills, that's problem solving, creativity, imagination, innovation, collaboration. We're not solo anymore. We work on the strengths of each other, and together we're stronger. The other one is computational thinking, which comes out quite a lot in the conversations of the current trends. Thank you, Tamela. All right, so what we do, we use the Mindstorms kits, the EV3 Mindstorms kit. We started on the NXT kits. Unfortunately, in the midst of COVID, the EV3 was retired, and now we use the Spike Prime. But I need to say up front that we are not retiring any of our robots. We've got a whole display of them here. We are not discarding them. They are just as good as the day that we bought them. Okay, for in terms of programming, and those who are in education, you'll know that in the grade R to grade 3 curriculum is Scratch. The really cool thing is now when we go and do workshops and we bring out the robots and we say we're going to program the robots, the kids already identify with Scratch, and so it just gives us a quicker hook to carry on with the learning. So there's for the EV3s, we use EV3 Classroom, and for the Spike Prime, we use Spike Prime Scratch. It's free Mahala downloads, and it comes with a whole lot of teaching material, and hopefully if there's time, Tamela will also show you where you can find that. But we do need to start somewhere. So when we start with learners, we always start with motorized robots. So that means that the robot can move forward and backwards, where navigation is forward, backward, left, and right. All right. So that's very fine and well, but I need to create, that's what we're doing now, but I need to create a picture of where we are going so that you understand where we are taking our learners. And maybe by the time this presentation is finished, you'll understand the intense urgency of getting all learners to have access to robotics, even if it is for but one season. Okay, it is beyond the current 4IR. For those who are waiting for 4IR to arrive, I hope, I'm saddened to tell you it has already arrived and it's kind of leaving the station. Sorry. All right. So if you think of a robot, the robot can either be moving, which means it's got wheels, or it can be fixed. Okay, and a fixed robot is kind of your industrial robots in the assembly lines where they take things and fetch things, where you've got an arm that moves. Okay, that will be a fixed robot. But in terms of mobile robots, you either have the aquatic ones, the ones that can swim under the sea or on the water. The terrestrial ones are the ones that move on the land, and the airborne ones are the drones, for example. And if you're terrestrial, you can either wheel or walk. And the walking is the legs, where a leg is either 2 legs or 8 legs. So there's all those other robots. But we're just going to focus on the mobile ones, terrestrial ones, wheeled ones. Okay, so that is the focus of all our training at the moment, and we are going to extend that next year. Now, it's all very fine and well to know the cute robots. Okay, so WALL-E, everybody knows WALL-E. Everybody, I'm sure, knows R2-D2, and Buzz Lightyear is also a robot. Okay, so those are the ones that are known to you. In between everything, there's actually a popularity contest for these cute robots. So that is kind of what is known to the society. But now for real, there are also robots making real impacts on real lives. And the very first one is Sophia, and that's a picture of Sophia. And I really want to ask you, maybe go and watch some videos. Go and watch Sophia talking. She twitches, she blinks her eyes, she looks at you funny. She gives you that little smile when you say something like really odd. Your brain needs to be in total awareness mode to realize that it's a robot. If she doesn't have a wig on, you can see the tick, 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 all the cogs in her head. She's a robot, okay? And go and watch one of her videos. If you also want to be really your mind blown, go and look what Boston Dynamics are doing. Boston Dynamics are a good team, a stunning team of geeks that are not scared to take on the future. They are busy with phenomenal stuff. All right, and if you want to motivate the learners of today, you need to show them what is already happening. All right, this is not just a here and now, this is a future thing. And we have no right to stop, okay? Okay, so robotics per se is the overlap of engineering fundamentals, the programming principles, and then your 21st century skills, as I said. And you apply your 21st century skills then to do programming, to do critical thinking, to do collaboration. And robotics education is what's going to be happening in our schools, all right, where we introduce the fundamentals and the basics of robotics, okay? I just want to kind of put a little asterisk here. You also get robotics in education, all right, where you use robotics to enhance the learning of another STEM field. So you can use robotics for environmental sciences. You can use robotics for mathematics. You can use robotics to teach biology. You can use robotics to teach physics. At all times, your robotics is being used to enhance the subject domain of another field of science. Okay, science may be even beyond science. Okay, so where's this robotics going? And you just have to ask Google, and Google seems to know lots of answers. You say, what is the role of robotics? And it kind of gives you what? In engineering, in education, in surgical procedures, in agriculture. The field is moving, all right? You have to understand the basics, but it's being applied in a whole lot of future jobs. Now, if you think where our learners are now, they're going to need to be prepared for these jobs, okay? And it's not that robotics is going to take over the job, it's that robotics is going to make it more effective. Okay, let me give you some examples. There's a little cool robot called Sea Swarm, and Sea Swarm gobbles up all the oil on the surface of water. Ideally, it should gobble up all our litter and pollution as well. But there's an example of a robot that is addressing a real-world problem, and in this case, it is the pollution, which we have got horribly wrong. Okay, why or how? Well, there's the innovation. So it's innovation, it's cleaning up the pollution, it's promoting a sustainable economic growth, and it's intelligent. You can have robots in the sea monitoring the level of pollution. So there we go. You've got somebody bobbing up on the sea watching the pollution. All right, so you need robots to solve problems effectively. Where we cannot be, the robot can be, and the robot can do a very good job at that. Okay, so what about robotics in agriculture? And so these are robots picking strawberries and putting them into the containers, and then you weigh the containers automatically. So there's no handling of the fruit. It goes much faster, all right? And so for the growing food needs of this world, we've got robots. Okay. How about in the agriculture, working on the farm, playing in the future farming? Go and watch these. I'm asking you, go and watch. There's drones that fly over tomato fields and identify whether the tomatoes are ripe or not. Okay? There are all these opportunities, and I do think you need to be made aware of, and I'm going to come to a short learning program that we do have, but to be aware of where the robots can actually fit in our society. Okay? In COVID, we had robots in medicine. We had robots going to COVID patients, so that allows robots to talk to each other, people to talk to each other. There was robots. You can have, and these are all videos. I actually just did a screen grab of robots, and in surgery as well. It's on all different levels in the medical healthcare. Okay. How about service robots? If Sophia was the receptionist at the next hotel that you booked in, you would not know that she's a robot. Okay, and you can't lose your temper with her. She'll just smile at you because she's just a robot. All right, so that's upgradable. There's endless memory. She can remember if you lost your temper with her last time, she'll probably know exactly who you are. But so there's service robots. And the big thing with AI, it's not just ChatGPT. There's another level of robotics that needs to be considered. Okay, how their robots work. Here are some of the links. Whether you want to have a quality of life or you're just interested in the money, there's a robot for every purpose. All right. There's lots of opportunities here. All right. And then robots are used to increase effectiveness, to solve some specific problems, to enhance your process. So robots are used. Okay, but there's always a but. I need to put it up clearly that robotics is disruptive. Okay, there's nobody going out and saying, oh, yippee, the robots are taking over. Okay, they are disruptive. They're changing the way we teach. They're changing the way our children learn. They're changing the way we do work. They're changing what we do. And some of the jobs have now been upgraded in efficiency by robotics. Okay, but you must adopt them and utilize them. You cannot put blinkers on and hope to goodness robotics is going to go away. It's not. It's here to stay. Okay. Our learners need the 21st century skills to be able to operate and thrive in a world that waits for them. And also, we need an upskilled workforce. Okay, it's not robotics and engineering and mathematics and all the sciences, in fact, are not just for the elite. It's for everybody, and everybody needs to have access. And we feel very strongly about it. When we started I-SET Robotics, Cabello and I had a million. We were going to reach 1 million learners. I think we're pretty close after so many years, but that is a reality. It's kind of, there's nothing less than 1 million if you think of how many learners we have. But it requires investment of effort and time and knowledge and skills, and this is where lifelong learning comes in. You're not going to arrive, all right? You're going to start a journey and you're going to keep learning, and I can guarantee you that UCL will keep you and keep programs available and will keep you busy, but you need to know it requires investment of time and effort to keep up. All right. So our focus on the future is who and what. So this is just how we see life at the moment. So there's always learners and coaches we kind of bundle in together because we have amazing students at Unisa, I can guarantee you that, who are mentors. We have visionary community leaders out there. We have robotics in containers in Orange Farm. There is no place where robotics cannot be taught and learned. Okay? We have the Department of Basic Education. We have a curriculum, but a curriculum is not going to be static. All right? We need investment from you as educators to say, we want to get involved, we want to keep this moving, we want to keep it relevant. It's going to keep needing improvement. All right? That's educators, competent educators, gives us confident learners. Okay? The DSI, the Department of Science and Innovation, they have SASTA, and SASTA has the ASTEMI board where we've served on for many years now. Now we have got, of all the Olympiads and competitions, we actually have robotics and coding competitions, and I-SET is the DSI lead agent for robotics and coding. We will make sure that there's a robotics team in every district, in every province in this country. Even if it's the last thing that we do, we will make sure. The DSI also has science centers. We're an accredited science center. We have quite a few. I think we have 12 or 14 science centers already nationally. We train the facilitators train the educators, and the educators then train the learners. So there's always a community, okay? Us as Unisa, we're a higher education institution. We are collaborating with Nelson Mandela University, University of Limpopo, University of Mpumalanga. So we're adding in all the universities who want to come on board, and that's the process from academics to communities, to educators, to learners. Again, there's a flow, there's a community of engagement, okay? And of course, we always need the NGOs, we need the sponsors, we need the funders, we need money. We always need money, don't we? Absolutely. All right, so there's our little picture. I'm just see that there's my. So we've got the DBE, and they've got they're training teachers. Unisa has got the training material for the teachers on the massive open online course portal, Unisa course portal, and that's there. And Tumelo here is going to just now explain exactly how you have access to this amazing 24/7 zero-rated teaching and learning portal. So that goes there. So just to skip across, we've got the DSI and the coding and robotics segment. We've kind of got the first Lego League competitions. I'm going to explain that. We've got the World Robot Olympiad. We've got the Conquesta Quiz. We've got the Robothon. We've got the Virtual Gear Robotics, and we've linked to that is the Computer Olympiad. So these are all opportunities where we, as the mentors, can then prepare our learners to participate in real-world competitions, okay? And in between this there's the robotics project. We are the Unisa Science Engagement Centre, and we too have MOOCs. So we have the there's the short learning programs, but we have the I-SET Robotics MOOCs. The I-SET Robotics MOOCs are linked to our YouTube channel, where we have, I think we're just on 1,000 recordings, very close to 1,000 recordings. Those recordings come from our live online learning sessions. We are online 2 weeks of every month, most months. And then that is, so that the content is on the MOOC portal, the recordings are on our I-SET YouTube channel, and we do live online learning on MS Teams, okay? That is then linked to our short learning programs, and that is our channel of opportunity, all right? And then last but not least, we do like practical workshops, and so we do have
clubs. The question is, how do we make this accessible to all schools?
Sorry, Tumela, can I please ask you to read the reread question? The reread question, there was no sound. Okay, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So there's a question from Johann Strauss. Johann Strauss says that some of the well-resourced schools already have coding and robotics clubs. The question is, how do we make this accessible to all schools?
Okay, so first and foremost, we are in a community to develop other schools as well. So if you have got robotics and coding at your school, participate in the community competitions, and I'm going to explain that in the next session, but also maybe to reach out to another school who does not have resources and who is not doing robotics, and maybe have a community event, even if it's once a term, to create awareness of robotics and what the opportunities are. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Another question from Newa Mahanu. Newa says, is there a center in Northwest Rustenburg, to be specific?
Yes, Northwest, for a long time, we have been looking for champions, and we are working with Northwest University, and I think we're on for November. We have an event either November or early next year, and so we'd love to start Northwest Robotics. Awesome, that'll be great.
Wait, sorry, it just went off.
Can you hear us now? So Dr. Host needs to repeat again.
No.
Okay. Okay. So I think this one is a comment from Mesh. Mesh says we are a low-income school and require funding to get our robotics center up and running. So what can you say regarding that?
I would say send us an email, and we're happy. We've got grant equipment which is on loan to schools that are under-resourced. We're happy to work with you as part of the community, and we're also happy to loan you equipment to kind of kickstart robotics in your school. What we do realize is that very often it's easier to convince funders to sponsor your robotics if you already have evidence that you have success and that you have a plan. And so we're happy to work with you. We work on a 3-year plan. The first year we'll walk ahead of you, the next year we'll walk alongside you, and the third year we'll walk behind you. And at all times you will be part of the South African robotics community. We have several experienced coaches who are more than eager to come also and visit and walk alongside you as well. Thank you.
All right. For those of you who would like to continue asking us questions, I'll send the email on the chat box as well for you to be able to ask questions. Do you have any questions within the vicinity here from our guests? Anyone with a question, please raise your hand based on the first presentation.
Anybody?
If not, you can write it down and then I'll hand over to Dr. Hose to continue.
Yes. There you go.
I'm just thinking that we might be having a diverse audience in the webinar.
Okay.
And we have, I guess, various offerings, but one of them is the SLPs that we have, the short learning programs. So if perhaps those short learning programs can be spelled out, and we'll give the contact details for the Center for Lifelong Learning as well, where some of the colleagues online, if they want to, register for those SLPs, then they can just write an email to us. Okay? Thanks. Lovely. Okay.
We have a question from online. Someone raise their hand. Let's unmute.
It's great collaboration.
We've got a question online from Zenda. Kindly feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question. Zenda, I see your hand is up. Feel free to unmute yourself. Yes, we can hear you, Zenda. Go for it.
Okay. No, I'm here in Viacom in Bronwyn. We are 4 primary schools here. I'm from Golden Park Primary, and based on the type of learners we have, I would really like you, if you can come and do this workshop with us here in Bronwyn. Will it be possible in any way?
All right. Let me give that to Dr. Hose.
We are more than happy to come and visit you. If you could just send us an email, we do need to have some operational planning, and obviously we're planning for 2024, so the earlier we get requests in, the more likely you are that we can come and visit you, or maybe even combining it with another visit to one of the Unisa regional offices. We visit Unisa regional offices. The plan is every province, the regional office in every province will get a visit next year, and that is to promote our short learning programs, to provide practical opportunities for our short learning programs, and also to engage with our educators and learners. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you so much.
Just press the button.
Zenda, are you from Welcome? And if Welcome, which part?
In Bronwyn, not Viacom City, but Bronwyn is suburb of Viacom. We are 4 primary here, based in Bronwyn, and then there's 1 secondary school.
Is it Velcom?
In Viacom in the Free State.
Okay, we are in Velcom on the 30th of November at the Presidential Imbizo. So if you can look out for the, I think we'll share the information with you, because I know that on the 30th of November we'll be in Velcom with the presidential inviso there on the 30th.
Okay, it will be so nice to attend. Thank you so much.
All right, due to the program, I'm going to take the last two questions online, and then I'm going to encourage participants as well as guests here to write down their questions so that we can move along. So for now, I'm going to take a question from Portia as well as Mutata. Portia, over to you. Please unmute Portia.
Hello.
Hello, Portia. Welcome.
Thank you for accepting my question. I wanted to ask, will you have a new start afresh of your online training after this webinar, or it will start 2024?
Hi. Yes, we are busy revising everything for 2024, but it is still accessible. There are the MOOC portals. I'm going to explain that to you now. All that content is available. We are more than happy that you engage with that material. We have a teacher training workshop beginning of January. And so if you attend the workshops online or in a hybrid format, or you do some MOOC training beforehand, that's also quite viable. And then you are well prepared to start the short learning programs. All right. But you're more than welcome.
Okay, I would love to be a part of the new program so that I can be on the same page with the newbies.
We welcome you. Good.
All right, thank you, Portia. Okay, last question for now. Mutata, over to you. Kindly unmute yourself. P. Mutata, please unmute yourself. And then for those who have questions, kindly write them down and wait for another section whereby we'll be giving you an opportunity to ask questions. Over to you, Mutata. Your microphone is still unmuted, Mutata. All right. I see that Mutata's microphone is giving him... Oh, there we go.
Hello, sir. Hello,
Yes.
sir. Do you hear me? Yes, it's Mutata. Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I was saying we are based in Polokwane campus. I'm from TVET College. So we are offering this coding and robotics. This is our first year of having the students. We are having a group of 20 students that are doing this course. So we would love to have the support from your side, especially in the further training, because the syllabus that we are offering here is about the mobile robotics. So we are also experiencing some challenges there and there. So we are pleading if you can just support us in terms of practicals, more especially the hands-on practicals. Thank you so much. And lastly, I would love to have some presentations, because the slides, of course, because I just came late, or the recordings to be available. Thank you so much.
All right, before I hand over to Dr. Host, we have Fridays 3 p.m. sessions whereby we have question and answer for those of you who would like to get involved with practicals. And this is where we can also break it down for you. We can lay out everything for you and explain where to start if you want to start, or if you are stuck somewhere, how to make you unstuck if that's the case. And yeah, but we can start with that, and I'll also share the link with you. But the sessions will be changing due to some logistics to try and accommodate everyone. But I think Dr. Hose wants to say something regarding this.
You just need to be part of the community and ask. We are here. If there's a question that you want to ask, please ask. And if there's another opportunity that you require, we're happy to engage with you as well.
All right, thank you. Now we're going to, with your... All right.
Okay. We will share also the email for everybody to go and to email us to get onto the email list to get all the updated information.
Okay, just to add on that and to reply on the last question from the TVET colleges, as Dr. Pora has said, that we've got shared learning programs which are accredited on an NQF level 5 with 12 credits, which Dr. Hoss will be presenting on them. So you are more than welcome to enroll for those courses. Thank you.
And also, I'll be showcasing how students can apply for the short learning programs if they have problems regarding that. So yeah, over to you.
Just notice that already maybe just send through whatever links. And should they just send their emails on the chat here?
No, they have to send us an email. Yes, so participants, you'll have to send us an email. We'll share our email with you as well as important links as well. All right, over to you, Dr. Hoss.
All right, so we're going to go on to the second part now. Thank you, Tamela. You're going to hold it like that? Oh, wonderful. All right, so I would just want to, before, we're first going to talk about the teachers, because I think the teachers, the educators, the coaches are really that important part so that we have students. Now, why am I not sharing? Is it sharing? Is it sharing? Oh, yay! All right, can you see all my slides from the beginning? There we go. Why is it not going?
All right, while we're facing technical glitches, we've noted your hand, Baloyi, and for those of you who also have questions, please take the opportunity to be on standby when we have that opportunity. And I'll also be taking questions from the floor here, if you might have, or if you might need some clarity.
Just going to keep talking, my screen is frozen.
Okay, I think I'll give an opportunity to Baloyi. Baloyi, your hand was up. Kindly please unmute yourself while we are trying to resolve some technical issues. Or if any of our participants have a question, kindly feel free to raise your hand. All right.
Keep talking.
Is there anyone who has a question? Perhaps let me check on the chats. All right. So I see here on the chat, this is where we ended. Okay. On the chat here, I see Nkosi says, do you guys teach coding in beginning level, or does a person have to have a certain level of knowledge of coding before doing robotics?
Answer it. Anybody who's passionate and who has enthusiasm for learning, for lifelong learning, we're happy to have you with us. Next one there.
All right. And then there's a question, or is it a comment from Leroux? However, now having a number of priorities in Lego education and other build and code experiences, we have decided to focus our resources and future plans by redirecting our Mindstorms robot inventor team and their expertise into different areas of their businesses. Oh, thank you so much for that comment, Leroux. There's another question from Andrew. Says, what would be the cost for a basic setup in a primary school?
Okay, so Andrew, if you would like to engage with us, it really depends whether you want to start in grade R, whether you want to start in grade 1, 2, and 3, or grade 4 upwards, whether you want to do it as a classroom activity or an extramural, how big is your school, how many learners, and we're happy to kind of have that discussion. Maybe as one of the live online learning sessions for next year, beginning of next year, we can kind of unpack the finances of robotics. Thank you.
All right, and then there's a question from Tammy Moses. Tammy says, if a person is very passionate about pursuing a career in robotics and doesn't have any prior knowledge, what should they do and where should they start? So I can say that you have just started, Tammy Moses, but let me hear what Dr. Hoss has to say.
Sorry, I missed the question.
If a person is very passionate about pursuing a career in coding and robotics and doesn't have any prior knowledge, what do they have to do?
Then I would highly suggest that you join the I-SET community, become involved in the coaching and robotics competitions, where we can engage with the learners. You can gain content knowledge by joining the MOOCs, and then maybe if you're confident enough, definitely moving on to the short learning programs, and we have 4 of them to keep you busy. Okay.
We have a question from Katleho. Katleho is asking, was this session only meant for South Africans? I'm from Lesotho and have joined the meeting. Katleho, this session is meant for anyone who's interested in this part. And thank you so much for being part of this, because the plan or the aim is to spread this all over. We have Katleho from Lesotho.
It's from Lesotho. Yes, Lesotho is we're already engaging with somebody in Lesotho about robotics competitions. I think we already have 2 teams in Lesotho, and lovely to hear from you, and let's see whether we can grow the number of teams in Lesotho then. And Kabelo's got something to add? There we go.
And as for Katlao, remember we're coming from Unisa, which is an open distance learning, and we're also showcasing some of the short programs that we have within the robotics space. So you are more than welcome to visit our Center for Lifelong Learning and also look for these courses, and maybe encourage your other colleagues in Lesotho to also join the courses. Thank you.
Okay. All right. We have a question as well from Bendulo. Bendulo is asking, is there a Center for Robotics in Kimberley, to be specific?
Yes, we are. The university is Solplaikis. Yes, we are talking to Emma at Solplaikis. We are in the Northern Cape on the 4th of November in Carnarvon at the first Lego League robotics competition. It'd be great if you could join us there, and then we could maybe talk about getting robotics started in Kimberley. Looking forward to that. Thank you.
Are you ready that side, or should I continue?
I'll present from my side.
What?
I'll present it from my side.
All right. Thank you so much for the comments. Please keep them coming. We'll definitely engage with you. Let us wait and see. Okay, there's nothing yet from this side.
I see there's a hand from below. If you want to maybe try and unmute again, you have been granted access.
I have no idea what you just.
Yes, we can hear you.
I have no idea what.
Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you so much. This is very overwhelming for us as the educators with all the changes, but we are looking forward to give it a try and see what we can do with it. I just want to ask, are you guys the same people who read on MOOC 1?
We are here.
Or you are the same people who read program 1, 2?
DBE 001 and 002. Sorry?
I'm asking the one that you were running the program.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's a check. We got the ticket. We are looking forward to what and yeah, doing practical. But like I said, I'm just overwhelmed. But yeah, thank you so much.
We can definitely work with you, ma'am. Welcome to the community.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are we ready now for the second part? Casper, are you going to present from your screen?
I can present from my side.
And this is opportunities for educators.
Okay. Okay, so just give me a second, but we can continue so long at the start of it. Yeah, just one more question now. Almost there.
Okay. All right, are there any robotic centers in KZN? Absolutely. There's a science center in very rural KZN, and I can't think what the place's name is. It's close to Jozini. In Jozini, there's a science center, and they've got plenty of robotics teams in and around there, and you are very welcome. There's also a school in Richards Bay that's very involved. We've just had a 24-team robotics competition in KZN. There's definitely life in robotics there, and there are a lot of teachers with experience that are happy to work with you. And maybe if you send I-SET an email, we're happy to send you the details of your local robotics teams there as well. Okay. All right, Casper, are you ready to?
There seems to be something wrong with your presentation. It doesn't want to share whatsoever.
Oh dear.
No, it won't work. Doesn't really want to play on my side.
I'm going to try. All right. Okay, so maybe whilst we're talking about this, I will kind of explain our support for the teachers, and we'll just skip over the program as we go along. Okay, so the whole thing of teacher support comes from the focus that if teachers are not supported, then our learners are not going to be supported. Okay.
It's going, Dr. Close.
Is it on?
It's not on, yes.
Oh, awesome. That's splendid. All right, here we go. We have, you see, when I just have to start talking, hey? Okay. All right, and you can share the screen.
No, it can't. This the farthest you can go. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, just move down a bit. There we go. All right, support for the teachers is really important, because really if we want competent and confident learners, we need to have competent and confident teachers. And so since starting robotics way back in 2009 and having one team, supporting one team at one school, we've realized that the need is much greater than that. And so we have embarked on a mission to support the teachers as well with quality training and quality upskilling and practical workshops at all times. I'm just going to look at Casper. Are we going down? All right. So I'm going to discuss it in terms of the need for community, for sharing and for engagement, and I'm also going to introduce the resources that we have, either online or in person, knowing that really most teachers, A, are not aware of resources that are available, and B, they have no idea how to access these resources. All right. So there's two routes, and we really want to create a pathway for success for lifelong learning. Okay? It's not fair, and it's not okay, and it's not ethical to expect teachers to jump in the deep end and hope that they're going to swim. So what we have done through engagement is to say we have a route that will comfortably take you along a pathway to ensure that you are confident and competent at all times, knowing that there's a community around that will work with you. Okay? So the MOOC route is the free Mahala route, and we just use that to build the confidence. We have live online learning, we have recordings that are available, you can access them as often as you like. The MOOC portal is 0 rated, and that gives you access to for initial content. So once you are confident that you are going to have a successful short learning program, then you register for your short learning programs. And we've got 4 short learning programs, and I guarantee you we can keep you longer, we can keep you busy longer than what you know. But then you have success, and that's what we want. We want successful short learning program candidates. And so that is how we've kind of built this together. All right, so we've disappeared again.
No, don't worry, it's just going to, there we go.
Okay, there we go. All right, now we're on track. Okay. Nothing like science sound effects. Are you controlling the sound? There we go. There we go. Okay, so we've got practical short learning programs. Okay, and I'm going to also explain there, we are happy to engage with you in practical work. Okay, then there are some theory short learning programs. That's a route if you're not practically minded, but we do suggest that you first do the practical and then you do the theory. Then you've got together, the practical and the theory put together, you can then consider a formal qualification in robotics. That said, you can either go the science route with a engineering qualification in robotics, or we can do a B route. There's a B.Ed qualification in robotics that's in the construction. Okay. Okay, so again, just to come back where we start building little robots. Okay, we start by introducing the fundamentals of engineering, the programming principles, and we develop your 21st century skills, and we move on from that at all times. All right. So the 2 things that we as a team have identified that hinder the advancement of robotics education is A, the access to relevant robotics training And that requires commitment and dedication to the learning of robotics. Okay? Yes, we are aware that some people have a business and they will take over your role, but we would rather upskill our educators in robotics, and we will give you a pathway of upskilling. Okay. The other biggest hurdle that we've identified is the access to equipment. And so that said, and we've had a question about that already, we have an on-loan system that requires planning. It's not a gift, and we're not giving it to you. At no time do we give it to you. It's a play-it-forward model. So we loan it to you. Once you have a 3-year plan and you have got funding of your own, we then pass that equipment on to the next school to kickstart robotics in the next school. The need and desire is dire in this country. We do not have enough robotics equipment for everybody, but once you're up and running, then we pass it on to the next school. In the ideal world, of course, you as an upskilled robotics educator will have the skills then to train the next round of teachers. And so we grow the community through sharing. Okay, so really the learners are no learner left behind, but we focus on the educators. We don't want a coach to be left behind, and so we have a community of coaches of varying skills levels who will walk the journey with you. We have access to resources. We engage in the development of a community of practice. It's an online community of practice, and at all times we have learning opportunities for you, because the focus of the community then is lifelong learning. I just want to say these are our good problems, our hubs of excellence. Northern Cape is growing. KZN is a hub growing. Western Cape is a hub growing. Limpopo's got a hub growing. And so there are teachers, there are educators, and there are champions in all these areas who are willing to walk the journey with you. You're never solo. I don't know whether there's like a 6-meter radius, but we will find somebody. All right. There needs to be commitment and dedication. As much as we have all these learning opportunities, you still need to do the work, all right? You will still need to do the practicals. We will walk with you, we will help you, but we, as a team, are not going to do the work for you, all right? And if you don't ask, we don't know there's a question. Okay, excellent. So, there are various resources, and this we will unpack in our live online learning sessions. There are random access resources like TEDx and once-off webinars like this one, although this is an annual webinar, hopefully. We have sequential access resources like MOOCs and training tutorials, and then we have competitions and robotic simulations, and we'll unpack that later. But whatever you do, there's a community of sharing, all right? And from the vast collection, guidance is required, and within that community we share what the most effective and efficient resources are. Okay, and here are a whole lot of email addresses that you can see. All right, so there is the I-SET email. We have monthly schedules, and Anzani is kind of in charge of the schedule. We have content on the MOOC portal. There's the MOOC portal. If you want guidance on how to create an account, Tumelo's the go-to person. We have recordings on our Unisa YouTube channel, and if you want information, Casper is the go-to person. For 2024, we have the practical workshops. You're very welcome to visit our Science Centre for practicals. We're not leaving you behind. Once you've registered for a course, we do not leave you behind. We will try at all times. Okay, and then last but not least, you can learn to speak robotics indigenously. We have a glossary of the first 100 words of our in robotics, and so they're translated into all 11 official languages. We're looking for our next 100 words, and we are going to do sign language next year. So you can speak robotics indigenously. What Samuel doesn't know is we have to translate all the SLPs into, okay. Yay, he's smiling. Awesome. Excellent. And so we have a copy here as well. Here we go. All right, so Tumelo will explain how we access the MOOCs there just now. All right, so the MOOCs is really like your introduction. We don't want to scare you away. We do not want to throw you in the deep end with short learning programs. We want to have a gentle introduction. So M1, we do some building, navigation and passive attachments. In M2, we kind of introduce what sensors are. We do loops and switches. and gears with powered attachments. And M3, we have a strategies with constraints, and we have an online robotics competition within the Unisa MOOC portal, which is open 24/7, and it has no age limit. So everybody can participate. Okay. Yeah, it's awesome. Yes. Okay. And then underneath that, I need to say that Unisa Science Engagement Centre is open for practicals. All right. And we've got lots of willing robots who love to be built and rebuilt and transformed. Just have to make an appointment with us. Okay. So then somebody was asking about the DBE MOOCs. The DBE MOOCs, DBE 001 and DBE 002, those are the two MOOCs commissioned by the Department of Basic Education. They are aligned to the curriculum for grade R to grade 3. Okay? If you go on to DBE 002, you will find lesson plans and activities for grade R to grade 3, for term 1 to term 4, for week 1 to week 9. You just need to download and use. Okay? We want to support you to get started. We want you to get onto the path of lifelong learning. And we are going to make it as easy as possible. Okay? There's a portfolio, there's learning material, there's everything there. And if there's something that you need, shout. Let us know what you need. All right. Okay, so now we get on to, you see, we're going to keep you busy. We're definitely going to keep you busy. So we've got starting soon, what we definitely have is Robotics and Environmental Sciences, which is run by Tamelo. Exciting new material coming in next year. Again, it's how to introduce environmental science using robots. Our interns are going to quickly construct the content and upload the content for robotics and Python, because Python is in the curriculum for the senior phase at school. We've got a cyber safety in 5 languages. Oops. Did you quickly pass me on here? Can I go back again?
Which one is that?
Just go back quickly. I was just busy with the previous one. There we go. And then we're doing Introduction to Engineering. Again, the Science Engagement Centre is open for practicals. All right. So once you've done some of those MOOCs, now you're okay to successfully enter into the world of short learning programs. We recognize that a lot of participants who register for short learning programs have not studied for about 10 years. And number one. And number two, they have never studied at Unisa, which is in and of itself a very scary thing to do. And we want to work with you. So for that, we have discussion classes every Monday. So if you're in a discussion, if you're registered on a short learning program, you have a half an hour in my schedule every Monday. So if we have a discussion, we have recordings, we make the recordings available. All right, let's move on to what we have. So, if you're going to, and I really want to start here, I've highlighted it. Start here with the practical components and pedagogy. So we introduce you to how do you actually build a robot? What do you need to build a robot? How do you build a robot? How do you program a robot? And how do you teach, or what is the pedagogy behind teaching robotics? Okay, so then you're good to go, and you've got a good start, and you've got all the knowledge from your MOOCs already, so that's in your head, you're confident, and we will take you on this 15-week journey. As soon as you're done there, we're gonna definitely highly recommend that you do CSRB 2E. Now we start with the more strategic stuff. So problem solving, data, so how do you get data from an input sensor, and how do you use data in your programming, and then how do you debug code? A skill that every coach needs is to be able to look at code and to be able to debug it quickly, all right? Very often you sit with a bunch of 30 learners, and ma'am, the robot is not working, so you as the coach need to be able to see where the errors are, and that is another skill. Again, we're open for practicals, and we have got a whole lot of robots that are willing to go with you. All right, so now you've got the practicals. You see there is this journey. We're going to keep you busy. All right. All right, Casper, the next one. So now we've got 2 theory modules, or 2 theory short learning programs. And it is really, we've taken all the practical out of it. It becomes the theoretical, okay? So the one is the fundamentals. So number 1 is the robot types, number 2, the engineering concepts, 3, the principles, 4, the techniques, and then how we'd use robotics in education. Okay, that is your robotics fundamentals. It is theoretical. There's a lot of writing. Yes, there's a lot of writing, and there's a portfolio required. That is just what it is. That is a theory one. Again, Every week you have a half-an-hour discussion class, there's a recording, you make the recordings available, and we're happy to sit and have a discussion and to unpack it. Okay. The very exciting one is SCI FF01, which is Robotics for the Future, and this is a very dynamic short learning program. We kind of add material as we get it. If we find a really good article, if the students find a good article, they will share it with me. So the first one is sensors and AI. The second one, which is a really cool one, is bio-inspired robots. And it's amazing what there is. Then the exploring robots, whether you're going to go under the sea, or whether you're going to go onto the moon, or whether you're going to do the skies. These are all robots that we call them under the generic thing of exploring robots. The navigation, GPS, and orientation of where your robot is. It's not just about follow a line, which we introduced right in the beginning. This gets a bit more technical, all right? And there's SLAM algorithms, but that will all be explained. And then just to kind of end it all, because we're in the future, is what is on the horizon. And obviously what is on the horizon will be kind of visible, and you know that it's coming, and to see how it plays out. Yeah, okay. And again, we didn't add it there, but we are happy to have conversations and discussions. All right, thank you, Casper. All right. Okay, so this is the end of my teacher opportunities, my educator opportunities. Again, if you're not going to do it now, when are you going to do it? And if you're not going to do it, who's going to do it? Or you're just going to sit back and watch 4IR pass us by, and that's not okay. All right, that was part number 2. Thank you very much. All right, shall we just quickly pause for a few minutes before we do the learner opportunities? Are there any questions that need to be answered? Tumelo?
Okay. All right, with your permission, Chair. All right, do we have any questions from our online participants? Kindly please raise your hands there, and then we'll attend to you. And then for now, I'll go into the comments section while we are waiting. Please note that for any of you who have any other questions that you would like to have more clarity with, this is the opportunity that you can take. Feel free to ask. All right, I see most people asking about the MOOCs here. But I was thinking that for the purposes of this, I'll just focus on the short learning programs. Perhaps I share my screen and just show them how to apply for the short learning program. So I hope my screen is visible there.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Visible.
So this is very simple. I'm glad that we also have colleagues from the short learning program department. If I'm not mistaken, they are normally opened around December, January. Yes. All right. And then another thing is that when participants or when students want to apply for these, they have to pay cash. There's no minimum deposit, correct? Or it depends on the short courses? It varies? Yes. Okay. So for you that are at home, please note that it varies per course. Some courses will want you to pay in full. Some will want you to pay a minimum amount. So you've seen that I went to Unisa Online. After going to Unisa Online, you can also go to, okay, let's go to apply. There are different options to get this part. So I'm just going to show you the simplest one. You just go to apply. Then you go to this part where it says short learning programs. And then you just say find out more. So as soon as you scroll down, you'll see there. And then this is the email that you can use for your short learning programs inquiries. And then here you'll see that they are giving you information regarding all the short learning programs that the Center for Lifelong Learning offers. And then it will indicate when you must apply, what is the application fee, what do you need to know before you apply, check your documents and confirm that you are ready to apply. This is a huge problem because most of you, or some people don't check their documents before they apply. And it's very important that your documents are electronic. This is your matric certificate is scanned, your ID document is scanned, and your previous document is scanned, and your merit certificate as well. And it's very important also to ensure that they are certified. It's very important to ensure that your documents are certified. So here is all the information that you will need here regarding your documents. And then here it says, I'm sure that my documents are scanned and according to the rules. So, and also this is the files that are needed. All right, so here now how to apply. So it's simply after clicking there, this is one of the options that a student can use, right? So they have to go to the undergraduate part. No. Short learning program. All right. You see, everyone is awake now. I'm happy. All right. So they have to go to the short learning program. Where is the short learning program on this tab? Great. Thank you so much. So our colleague here has just indicated that this red part here that says the application period for the option is closed.
Yeah.
This means that for you that would like to apply for the short learning program, it will be opened around December, January.
1st of December.
1st of December.
Yeah.
Okay. Mid to end of November as well as from 1st of January. December. Yes, this is when you will see that this option will be opened for you to be able to apply for the short learning program. So please be aware of that. All right, let me just go back as well and show you some of the short learning programs that the Center for Lifelong Learning offers. So as we have indicated, we are from the College of Science, Engineering and Technology, meaning that you need to come to this tab. Once you click on that tab there, it will give you some of the courses that we offer, as well as some of the programs and the short courses. For the purposes of this, I'll talk on this one that Dr. Hose was highlighting, which is the short course in I-SET Robotics, problem solving, data and debugging. So with this one here, it's a 15 weeks short course, which is roughly a semester. And then the language medium is English. So this is the target group that Dr. Hose was talking about when she was presenting here, that this targets your educators, your community leaders, as well as students that would like to pursue this, as well as interested individuals as well who would like to enhance their skills as well, or who are interested in coding and robotics. And then this part here, they are talking about the admission requirements. So this is where the admission requirements will be found, as well as the registration periods. And then this is the course leader, who is Dr. Hose, and this is the email address that you can use regarding this I-SET robotics short course. And then for more information, again, as I've indicated regarding this short course, you can also use this email, feel free. And then, yes, so this is regarding the short course that is offered by the Center for Lifelong Learning. Do we have any questions regarding this?
Just before that, if I may just come in quickly to say that actually we are in the process of updating all the information on our website. There are some of these courses that aren't showing on there yet, but closer to the registration time, they'll all be there, okay? So just for your benefit, Dr. Hose, okay? And everybody else, thank you, great.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'm asking a question as a audience, but I think I'll direct it to the people from Center for Life Learning. What is the minimum requirement required for an SLP in robotics? Who are the targets? I think the target group is highlighted there, but most importantly, can I apply for a short learning program at Unisa and a formal program at the same time?
Sure.
Okay, yes, sorry.
Anyone, just give me anyone.
All right, I'm just gonna Jolie, do you want to take that one, brother? Okay.
Cables.
Thank you for the question, Cabello. Yes, you can apply for a short learning program concurrently doing a formal qualification. Also, to add to that, I'd like to also give the email address for the Unisa Center for Lifelong Learning, which is www.unisa.ac.za/UCL. That's our website where you'll get more information regarding that. Thank you.
Asking these questions because I'm mostly on the ground. These are the questions that I'll be getting.
Yeah.
What is the difference between formal and non-formal course if I am to register for a robotics course?
Thank you very much for the question. The difference between a short course and a formal course is that firstly, a short course, as it is clearly defined, is short in nature, meaning that it is focused on a particular subject matter, wherein students would learn based on a specific topic. A short courses normally would consist of 3 to, or maybe 2 to 4 modules. And most of them would be 6 months, meaning that you can study that over a semester. Some of the short learning programs would be for a year, as compared to formal programs wherein you are expected to study close to 30 modules or more in terms of the number of modules that you need to enroll for a formal qualification. Then the duration as well for a formal qualification would be between maybe 3 to 4 years, depending as to whether you are doing a professional qualification or a degree. And in some instances, it's 3 years or 2 years, depending as to whether it's a maybe postgraduate certificate and so forth. But in terms of the major difference is that short learning programs by nature are short and focused to a specific subject matter. Thank you very much.
All right. I also have a question. I'm asking on behalf of some people that we have indicated, we have interacted with. So normally they will say that the short course is accredited, correct?
You get a certificate.
No. It's NQF level 4 accredited. I don't know. Can you share my screen there so that people can see it? It's NQF level 4. Oh, there we go.
It's NQF level 5.
Oh,
yes.
So an individual who completes this short course will be, so this short course is accredited as NQF level 5. All right. It's equivalent to NQF level 5. So now, once it's NQF level 5, which is with 12 credits. Yes. All right, thank you for that. Now, when an individual has completed the short course, can they now apply for a formal qualification with this short course?
That is a process that should be determined by the college or the developer of that particular short learning program, because there should be a pathway wherein learners would be introduced to a particular subject, and then once they are competent enough, they can then be able to proceed to register for formal qualifications. But you need to prepare your learners in terms of the pathway, career pathway, as far as short learning programs are concerned. So basically, the short learning programs lay a foundation for one to can be able to move through the career path. But that depends from one subject to another, depending on the college as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do you have any other questions from this side before I go to the floor? I see we have another question. Thank you for the answer.
Okay, now we are on autumn graduation, I think. So can someone who completes these short courses claim to come for graduation for their certificates?
Thank you very much for that question. It is very much important. Yeah, no, and for the interest of those that are also listening online or that are participating on the online platform, we don't have graduations for short learning programs as a university, but we are aware of the need to have graduations for short learning programs because graduations provide an opportunity to market our short learning programs and to also interact with other interested people that might be in need of those short learning programs. So we are in talks with the university to make sure that we bring back the graduations because indeed we used to have graduation ceremonies for short learning programs. But due to congested program of the university, we were then requested to put the graduations on hold. But that's something that we're looking to resuscitate. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you. I've got a question for Dr. Rose and her team. Oh, yes. I got this question last week. As Kabelo indicated, we are a distance online learning institute and we are found everywhere in South Africa. So if an individual would like to study this short course, they need to have practicals, they need to have a robotics kit. But if someone is there at Vryheid or Mutu or Hluhluwe, how will they do this short course?
So it says up front that you need to have access. You don't have to buy it, but you need to have access to the robotics kit. There is a network of science centers in this country. I think currently we are 15 accredited science centers. And we're 23 already. Awesome. So we have got 23 nationally accredited science centers, and most of them have robotics kits. All right. So there is an opportunity for engagement. That's the first one. The second opportunity, you need to tell us that you don't have access, and we will try our best to link you up to somebody close by, whether it is a school that does robotics that you can go into the school and maybe help with the coaching, or whether it is an NGO that is doing robotics where you can assist them, but that you do have access to the robotics kit. However, what we have found is that students know that they should have practical access to robotics kits and leave it right to the end. And then it causes much stress for Mr. Kakana because he needs to move registration periods, which is not the ideal. So if you tell us up front that you don't have access, then at least we can make a plan. We've got the science centers, we've got a whole network of science centers, we've got a whole group of schools, we've got a community of coaches who are willing, keen, and eager to reach out to new coaches. And so communication is key in this whole process. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Last question.
Last one.
That goes to your team again.
My team.
We have a few questions.
Last online. Yeah. This addresses the online questions.
Okay.
Yes. So I saw that one of the participants is asking that in terms of completing the short course, they need a robotics kit. Are there specific robotics kits, or can they use any other robot to this?
Okay, so our medium of teaching over the last few years has been the EV3 Mindstorms kit. We've also got a couple of new kits called Spike Primes in our midst. We're still holding on to our baby NXTs, but we have kits that are available. Okay, that said, we have had students submitting part of their assignments using robotic simulations, so like the Virtual Robotics Toolkit or GearsBot. We have also had Arduino models built. You just are very limited in the building of the engineering fundamentals. So the passive attachments, powered attachments, that is lacking in terms of if you have an electronics kit. But the electronics is fine for the programming. Again, it's about communication. This is the preferred one, but if you have an Arduino and you want to try it out, I cannot do anything to hinder that. You are still welcome in the community.
All right, thank you. Now let me also get Sinalo Mdodana. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question. Sinalo Mtotana. All right. And then I'll also take some few questions from the chat. Let's see. Sinalo, feel free to unmute yourself. Feel free to unmute yourself, Sinalo Mtotana, and ask your question. Your microphone is still unmuted. It's still muted. While you're still figuring it out, I'll ask, there's a question from Brenda. Brenda says, do I need to complete the practical short learning courses before registering for the theory short learning courses?
No, you don't need to. It's recommended that you first do the practicals and then the theory, but the other way around is also fine. No problem.
All right, and then Sinalo, are you able to unmute yourself? I see Sinalo is still struggling. Or perhaps you can write on the chat so that we can assist you. All right, let me go back to the chat. I saw a question from Nkosi. Nkosi says, can you get a PhD if you do the formal or short learning courses?
In a while. However, if you have a B.Ed honors or any BSc honors, I'm happy to supervise you through masters and PhD. I have a couple of students already on that pathway, and there are some really cool robotics topics, especially with robotics education and the technologies that are coming out now to advance robotics. So yes, please ask for a supervisor, pick me, send me an email, and I'm happy to start the journey towards a master's and a PhD, absolutely.
Oh, there's another answer to that.
I'm going to just ask Dr. Host, for the sake of people who are eager and now curious, what is the course structure in terms of assessment? What are you assessed on for you to complete the course? For short learning programs.
Okay, so for short learning programs, up until now, we've had 4 assessments, and we've also had a take-home exam. A take-home exam is 3 hours long and is iris invigilated, and yeah. So, and Mr. Kakan is nodding his head. He's very aware of this. The 2 theory modules have already been changed, and the 2 practical modules are in the process of changing for 2024. Okay, so you will still have 4 assignments, but instead of the take-home exam that is proctored, you will have a portfolio. So a lot more focus on practical work, a lot more focus on getting things done, and then just the portfolio, which needs to be submitted in a time frame. I think there's 72 hours that they can do the portfolio, and you will get the questions up front. It's not ever a case of learning rote. And back in the good old days when we used to write exams in the centers, at desks and paper, it used to be that you could take your file of evidence, you could take a whole file of everything that you have accumulated in the semester of learning, and you could use that for reference purposes. This is definitely not to test your memory, it's to test your reflection on what you have learned. And so up until today, which messes a little bit with proctoring, you can still page through your file of learning as long as you don't Google answers on your screen. So that's how we've accomplished that. But you can still have a file of learning. So they have got 4 assignments. So the assignments in the new schedule will be reduced, but you'll have a much more bulkier portfolio, which you have then a longer time to complete. And you will be given the portfolio questions as each unit completes. So you will have time to complete a portfolio. And that's how you get assessed. Okay?
All right. For the benefit of the viewers.
In this portfolio of evidence, can I use what the class does if I'm a teacher? Can I use what I teach to the kids to add it to the portfolio?
Absolutely. it's about learning, and and that is also maybe part of your extension of your learning. If what you learn, you can already present to your learners and use that in your portfolio. I'm happy because that shows reflection of what you have been, the knowledge that you've gained and the skills that you've gained in the course of the short learning program. All right. Thank you.
I'm just thinking, because Dr. House kept saying you can contact me by email. So I'm just thinking that perhaps if you guys can already on the chat make available all the contact details of yourselves in the department so that it's easier for those online, they know who to speak to regarding what, okay?
All right. Thank you so much. Can I continue taking some few questions with you?
Okay, yeah, but mindful of the time as well. We had hoped to be done by 0:00, so I'm not sure, Dr. House, if there's a lot that you still need to cover. Okay. Yes. Great.
Okay, can I just take this question? It's a beautiful question, this one. Please pay attention, everyone. This question is from Johan. She says, can a matriculant enroll right after matric and make it a formal qualification? That's one. Number two, if I enroll as a teacher, will it up my salary? Will it be credited? That's what Johan says.
All right, so since we started I-SET Robotics, we have been preaching that a teacher with robotics on their CV is going to be headhunted. And I can tell you now more than ever before, the teachers that we have trained have been headhunted. We have foundations where we have phenomenal facilitators, and when jobs become available, they hijack the people that we've just trained. So we're like back to square one. So yes, if you're leaving school and you kind of need a gap year, register for a short learning program, join the I-SET Robotics team. We are a whole lot of really nice people. We'd love student involvement. We actually do encourage students to engage with us as I-SET buddies. We send you all over the country, and you will definitely have a much better, more productive gap year than sitting doing nothing, and you would have then got the knowledge and skills that you need. Then you can do teaching. If you're busy with a BGCE or whatever, and you want to do robotics and coding, highly recommend that you join us. You get lots of practical experience, and it looks good on your CV. There are 4 that you can add, and it's a worthwhile investment in your future. Absolutely.
All right, then you can share your screen in the meantime while we get one last question.
Yes.
Okay. Can I just ask one last question to the Center for Lifelong Learning? For future, do you see yourself having this robotics equipment at each and every single library of Unisa, depending on the number of students that you have in that region?
We do. We've got 7 libraries.
Okay, yeah, I'll just answer them.
Okay, I don't want to take your answer away, but I just want to say you've already started the process. Just nod your head. There we go. Yes. We have 7 libraries already that have robotics equipment that you can use in the library. All right.
Excellent. Yeah, it's a good one. But then, of course, it's a function of finances, as we know, right? And Dr. House, earlier on, when you started, you mentioned very eloquently that we need funding. So the more we get of those funds from whichever sources, the better in that we can roll out all these projects. Yeah, it's a good one. Thanks.
All right, I've shared the email address as well as the link for the Friday session. For now, we're going to hand over to Dr. House to conclude with the last part of the presentation. Over to you, Dr. House.
All right, so we're going to just quickly talk about opportunities for teams of learners. And here I must say up front, we would like learners to participate in a robotics competition. And it's not to compare how good a coach you are, it's to give learners an experience and to encourage their lifelong learning. Remember, you're on a journey. It doesn't stop. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to present just some of the competitions that we currently are running in this country. It doesn't do it justice because I don't have time to show you videos. I don't have time to show you the amazing kids that are competing. I want to say that if you're close by, we have a first Lego League competition on the 28th in the Unisa main campus in Pretoria. come and be wowed. We are in Sibona Science Centre next Saturday. We're in Carnarvon next Saturday, and the nationals at Sibona, where I think the top 36 teams in the country are going to compete. The 1st and 2nd of December. Just pop in there and come and meet these amazing kids. You need to really pinch yourself to be reminded that these are learners and products of an amazing, inspired teacher. Hopefully we'll have more of them soon. All right, so Casper, are we going to go? Okay, so we're just going to go through this very quickly, and the basis of this is the STEMI Science Olympiads and competitions, and these are the robotics and the coding competitions that we have available. Okay, so it is for real. The Unisa Science Engagement Centre does exist, and we often have visitors. We also go out to schools and prepare them for competitions. We engage with the learners. We engage. This is kind of a diverse collection. There's always celebration. ZK Matthews is never as quiet as it was during graduations. We support our learners. We support them through a journey of learning, and we celebrate learning at robotics competitions. There's always an engineering part, there's always a programming part, and there's always a 21st century part in all competitions. Okay. So, just about competitions, there's team members, and team members all have roles, whether they build or they program or they do the strategy or they do the scoring. There's a role for everybody, but my punchline is you as the coach, you need to coach. You cannot do anything for your learners. And really, when it comes to competitions, when the teams arrive at a venue, the coach's work is done. Then you just need to sit back and watch the work that has been achieved. Okay? All right, this is weird not controlling my own presentation. Okay, so we've got various groups of competitions. The one is the competitions that don't go international, and that's the virtual gear competition, the Robothon and the Conquesta. The group 2 is your World Robot Olympiad and Lego League and First Tech Challenge. They go regional, national, international. And then group 3 is your Programming Olympiads, which has got no robotics in it. Okay? Okay. Okay, so every competition has a theme that is annual. If you come down to the Science Centre, we've just packed it up. So it's always got a theme. So first Lego League last year was superpowered, and it was about the problem of power in the world. This year it's about lights, camera, and action. It's called Masterpiece. It's how do we use technology and art to tell people about our hobbies. So if you want to come and listen to teams presenting that, come and join one of our competitions. But all the competitions differ in what you need to have at the start of an event and what you have during the event and how do you qualify. Okay? And as we go along, we'll unpack this maybe kind of a little bit slower next year. All right. And just to say that some of the short learning programs actually address some of these competitions directly. Okay? Thank you. All right, so just in line of the year, and I'm the first to admit that COVID did tragic things to competitions. Short of shutting them down, it caused total chaos. So the virtual gear competition is online. It's on the MOOC portal under M3. It's from February to November. All the videos are there. You can go and have a look at various, we've left all the previous years available. So that is your resources you can use. The World Robot Olympiad, I checked now, they're busy finishing off 2023. So hopefully 2024's theme will be available soon. The first Lego League, we're in the middle of competitions. We're busy with our regionals, and the nationals will be the first weekend in December. We do this to ensure that our teams can participate overseas, and I need to say that we have worked very hard to get provincial representation, and so KZN, Gauteng, Northern Cape, and Western Cape represented South Africa internationally in 2023, for which we are very grateful to the extensive work of coaches, visionary coaches. The Robothon is a really cool competition we hold once off in September, and then Conquesta is a quiz, and I think at the moment it's September. Thank you. Okay, so just to give you a picture quickly, all right, that's the same thing. There's always trophies available, obviously. All right. All right, virtual gear, and we're going to go through it quite quickly. Virtual gear, is we call it a half mat. We use things that are available in your builder's warehouse, so like toilet rolls, margarine containers, nuts, bolts, screws, and things like that. You need to build a robot. The whole thing is about getting the teachers to kickstart the robotics. And so the challenge is very easy. There's always a story to it, and the focus is about getting scoring points in 2 minutes, 120 seconds. Is it 60? Yeah, sure, it's not much. Okay, that's virtual gear. Okay, we've just upgraded the format. There's no age limit. You don't have any robotics kit specifications. It's open till end of November. That said, we often have holiday programs running and using this as a competition within a holiday program. So we usually extend it to December, and our referees then referee the videos in December. Okay? And then virtual gear. Thank you. So this is virtual gear, and the kids have a lot of fun. You can just see it's margarine containers and nuts and bolts. But the whole thing is to have a story, to have missions. You see how well they're coordinated. They change the missions. They've measured it off. They need to be synchronized to get as many points as possible. Thanks, Casper. They scream a lot in this one. All right. The Robothon is another competition. You arrive at a site, you have no idea what you're going to do, you get 5 hours to complete the challenge. So the teams just sit down in front of us, they get a brief, and then they've got 5 hours. Very scary, but a lot of adrenaline and a lot of fun for kids that are not scared. Thanks, Casper. All right. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, next one. Okay, that's the Conquesta. There is a site for Conquesta Olympiads and the robotics quiz. There's a junior quiz and a senior quiz. Again, thank you, Casper. It's around building. It's around programming. Next one. There's the programming. Next one. And then there's a kind of a quiz about a challenge mat, which is themed normally. And the next one is a comprehension test about agriculture or whatever the theme is, and robotics as well. Okay, all right, that's the 3 options. Next one. I'm trying to make the time limit. WRO, serious, you can play soccer, you can play regular category, or you can do an open category. A lot of innovation required, and it's only 3 members in the team. So highly recommended, but your teams need to have some experience. So please don't just chuck beginners in there. Next one. Okay, now we go to First Lego League. First Lego League has got 10 learners in it. Thank you. I'm trying to. So this year's Masterpiece, we have 3 categories. We have grades 4 to 10. There's a challenge. Grade 1, 2, and 3 is Explore. They do programming and building models that move. And Discover does problem solving, where they have to build the vocabulary to solve a problem. Thank you. All right, that's the Discover. There we go. All right. And you see over the years, they've had to do real-world problems. Animal Allies was how does animals communicate with humans. Trash Trek was obviously trash. Okay, next one. Thank you, Casper. And then there's a video that you can watch. I will share these videos with you. Okay. FTC is kind of the ultimate. We want teams to build robots. It's the old, kind of in line with the old Meccano sets that we used to have. But you can do 3D printing, you can do CAD design, you can do laser cutting, you can do project management, and the robots are remote controlled. And so in the world of where we want to go, I would like every high school to have at least one FTC robot. I'm working towards that. Okay. Last but not least, here's my why bother. There still remains the perception that programming is difficult, and I see it in my 1st and 2nd year programming classes. There's still the perception that science is difficult, and I see it in the number of learners that drop out of physics in grade 10 already, and that's not okay. Our grade 9s are our graduates, our Unisa graduates for 2030. The 1% Africa of all robotics teams in the world, less than 1% are on our continent. That's not okay. We've put in the million inspiration remains our vision. We started it. That was where we started I-SET Robotics, and we will keep the million to reach 1 million learners. The Africa Open Championships are in 2025. And so I would like all our volunteers to be from the African continent. I do not see why the Europeans and the Americans from North and South America need to come and help us host our own robotics competition. I think we are quite capable of doing that ourselves. And so I want 80% of the volunteers from the African continent, and I want 80% of the teams from the African continent. And that's 2025. And Kinako, the time is now. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Dr. Rose and the team, thank you very much. Colleagues, can you just give them a round of applause one more time? Indeed, that was great. That was great, folks. Now, I just want to ask, because I know that people are still online, and some of them, unfortunately, I think we had more than one link, colleagues, and we need to apologize for that up front and say we are sorry. For those of you online who perhaps went and waited on the other on the other link, it was something that we didn't really see happening, but it did happen. Apologies for that. But we're glad that finally you managed to, get your way into this link. So the question is to the technical team as well. How do we make this whole recording available to them? Okay, yeah. Casper? Yeah.
Okay, so the recording for this session is already on the Unisa videos live function. It is the one that we shared in the side of the chat area. It is that YouTube link. Just go to that link. We will post it also on our USEC video and community post for everybody to see and to go to that community post. Thank you.
Casper, we got competition there, eh? Yeah, I think that's how it says his time's up. Eh? Yeah, so folks, those of you online, if you heard what Casper was saying just now, everything is already posted on the links that they were sharing online. Am I correct? Maybe just reshare them one last time for those that came in, right afterwards. Right, and I'm hoping that people do have, again, your contact details, as well as the ones for the short courses, which is on our site, Center for Lifelong Learning. Mr. Mjoli earlier on did give out our URL, www.unisa.ac.za/UCL, okay? And our contact email address is UCL, okay, at unisa.ac.za, simple as that, okay? So that's for those of you online colleagues who would like to find out more about the short course and what have you. But of course, I mean, the college here, represented by Dr. Host and the team, we have a hotline to them, 24 hours 7. So if you need to get hold of them, yeah, you can contact us, and then we'll get you through to them. Yeah, it feels like we've been, I personally, I must say, it feels like I've been drinking from a hose pipe. Yeah, there's been so much exciting information, and yeah, I'm not gonna waste any more time. We learned a lot, and thank you to you, Prof, as well as the team. Let's just call Delegate to just formally close the event for us by way of a vote of thanks. Mr. Kekana, thanks. Okay.
Okay.
There is one person that is unmuted that wants to up his hand up. Jonathan? If you maybe, so that you guys can just...
Question. Johan, feel free to unmute yourself, Johanna. Feel free to unmute yourself. You've been given the rights to speak. And for those of you who have questions on the chat, I've noted all of your questions. This Friday we'll be addressing all your questions on that 3 p.m. Friday online session as well. And yes, Johanna. Oh, I see your hand has disappeared now. All right, over to you, Chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let me start by thanking Mr. Pora and the marketing team for initiating this webinar, and also for putting all the plans in place to ensure that this webinar becomes a success. Thank you very much, Ndate Pora and your team. Let me equally thank Prof. Dr. House for allowing us, to partner in offering this webinar, because without you, we wouldn't actually have this webinar. And to also thank you for really making the equipment available so that you can showcase the work that you do. And I must say that I think I'm on record that the University of South Africa, I don't think that we are really promoting the work that you do as much as we should. And the amount of impact that we're having in our societies, I think we need to do more in terms of communicating the work that we do. The team that is working with you, you are so marvelous. Thank you very much to the team that is working with Dr. Hose. And really, the fact that you are also going out to communities, to engage the communities, it's something that is really appreciated. And most importantly, you are imparting knowledge to the teachers who are in turn teaching the kids, the learners. So basically, you are building, the society through teachers. And what a best way to really invest in our communities through teacher engagements in terms of the projects that we do. And we must really applaud you for that. I think let's give them a round of applause. To our multimedia team, colleagues, thank you very much. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to beam and broadcast this event live to our communities out there, and to the colleagues that are far-flung from where we are, because technology does allow us to reach millions of people, but it's through technology and the techniques that we have in terms of your knowledge and being able to apply those to ensure that we're able to communicate and reach out communities out there. The colleagues that have prepared this venue, and the caterers that really, catered us with beautiful and delicious meal. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. To our participants who are online, thank you very much. What an active group that we had. We really appreciate your participation in the online platforms that we had today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and thank you very much. And online webinar like this would continue, because you can still post your questions and we'll be able to answer to your questions. And I think we did justice to the short learning programs that are offered under this department, because Dr. Host, we've promised as UCL that we're going to have a webinar wherein we are going to promote this short learning programs. And I think have more than in your IPMS for really delivering on this promise that we had, that conduct the seminar or the webinar through various colleges. By the way, Dr. House, this is one of the webinars that we have in the college, but we have done that through other colleges as well, supporting them to promote their short learning programs through these webinars. But I must say that in all the webinars that we have attended and arranged, this one is a masterpiece. No, this one really is outstanding. And given the fact that it was also coupled by demonstrations. We had a day filled of activities, from demonstrations up to the presentations that we had this afternoon. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me all thank you for really making time, taking your valuable time that you should be spending, or that you could be spending with friends and family, to come and attend and participate actively in this webinar. From the bottom of my heart, from UCL point of view, we really, really thank you, and we're indebted to you. The emails that we have shared, would be able to respond to those in terms of the queries that you might have. But most importantly, the short learning programs that we do have at Unisa, we are responsible to support you, as we have indicated in terms of the application and registrations. We should be able to support you as soon as we open, our applications and registrations for 2024. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, this webinar. Thank you very much.
Yes.